What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to cut with the deep point blade? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Did it cut? Did it not? What's your predictions? Aha! Did y'all see that? Look at there. Okay, guys. This might be why we do it on regular leather. Y'all, I need you to literally stop what you're doing because I have another testing video for you. I know how much you love us testing new, innovative craft techniques and craft products. So we have found a new craft product that we want to test. This is the Hometown Leatherworks. This is leatherific transfer paper. You heard that right. This is printable transfer paper that you're supposed to be able to put on leather. Now, it says on here, print any design on your inkjet printer and easily transfer it to natural vegetable tanned leather. So you know we got some vegetable tanned leather to try this out. Here's the problem. Vegetable tanned leather is a very thick product, meaning that you have to have a Maker Series machine to cut it because you have to have access to the adaptive tools like the knife blade. So we are going to test this product out on vegetable tan leather, but we also know that so many of you all don't have a maker or you don't have the adaptive tools. So yeah, you guessed it. We're also gonna test this on faux leather and we're gonna be making a Christmas ornament. Now, you might be thinking, Lauren, why are you making a Christmas ornament in September? Y'all know us. You know we go hard for Christmas. Also, because we have a very, very special announcement happening on Wednesday, October 1st, that you need to set your alarm for. We're going to be announcing something very special at our live Wednesday, October 1st. So, and it might give you a little bit of a hint, if you will, as to why we're making a leather Christmas ornament. So, let's go ahead and dive right into creating our base for our Christmas ornament so that we can test this leatherific transfer paper. So if you're ready to see how this works on both regular vegetable tan leather and faux leather, make sure that you stick around. If you want to know my honest opinion, I'm gonna say it's not gonna work as good on faux leather. I don't know how the faux leather is gonna hold up with the heat that you have to press this with. So I don't know, let's find out. First thing we're gonna do though is we're gonna talk about, before we really dive in, let's talk about everything that we have that we're gonna be crafting with. Let me scoot you back just a little bit. And by the way, all of this is gonna be linked down below for you. If you want to purchase this, we will have all of this linked. We are obviously gonna be starting out with this Hometown Leatherworks leatherific transfer paper. We do also have our inkjet printer. Our favorite is going to be the Canon TS 9500 series. That's just the one that we continually go for, even when we did have one that broke on us. That's the one we repurchased. We think that we love the Canon printers for inkjet printers. So we do have an inkjet printer that you can't see, it's not sitting here. Next up, we have our veg tan or vegetable tanned tooling leather. Now this one specifically, I can't find, this is a 4 to 5 ounce. So it's pretty thick. It's a pretty good thickness. If you have ever worked with vegetable tan leather, you know that it's more malleable when you get it wet, but we're just gonna use this dry because we do have to iron on it. So we just got this from Hobby Lobby. You can purchase from Amazon or other leatherworks stores. Once again, we're gonna have it linked down below. And then we have a very good faux leather here. Once again, this is linked down below. This is pretty much a pretty natural color. I wanted to try to get it as close to the vegetable tan. You can see it's clearly not the same, but I wanted to see how well it worked on this kind of like natural tanned leather to see if the colors come through as well, or to see if the colors come through well. The next thing that you're gonna need, if you plan on cutting the leather with your Cricut, is you're going to need a strong grit mat. I highly suggest a strong grit mat, especially for leather and even faux leather. It just helps keep it down on the mat a lot better. If for some reason you don't have a strong grip mat or your strong grip mat is not as sticky as you would prefer, we love using, and give me just a second, let me grab it, tape. We love using tape to tape things down. I have trust issues, and sometimes that translates into my Cricut. If you're a Cricut user, you know how it is. You know how it is. Sometimes things just don't go as planned. So if you do not feel like your mat is sticky enough, don't worry about going out and buying a new mat. Grab you some painter's tape, tape that bad boy down. That's just going to help give you a little bit of insurance that it's not gonna move anywhere. Now, if you have a Maker Series machine, we are going to be cutting our leather with a knife blade. This is an adaptive tool. You can see here it can only be used with the Maker Series. So we are going to be using the knife blade. If you don't and you want to test this with faux leather, you can cut faux leather using your fine point blade on any type of Cricut. So that's why we love using faux leather, and that is definitely why I want to test this on faux leather. So let's go ahead. We're going to get everything set up in Design Space, and we're going to go ahead and cut both our vegetable tan leather and our faux leather and get that cut out. And then we're going to print onto our transfer leatherific transfer paper, and we're going to see how it works. So let's go ahead and jump over to Design Space. Now that we are here in Design Space, I wanted to show you guys what we are creating. And the reason that I chose this specific file is because it has a variety of colors, and I wanted to see how all of the colors really do with this leatherific transfer inkjet transfer paper. So I wanted to see how well the brown did and how well the light pink did. So this is what we're going to be making today. We are going to grab this file from the Maker's Gonna Learn website. We're also using a Maker's Gonna Learn font. So let's go ahead and hop over to the Maker's Gonna Learn website. You can see here, I'm already on this super cute hedgehog. This is the name of the file, Xmas Hedgehog. You can also find it linked down below this video. So how you are going to download a file from our website, we are going to click this arrow pointing down. You can see that it will pop over into your downloads in a folder. So we need to open up that folder by double clicking. You do have the SVG and the PNG version of this file. For this project, we are going to be using the PNG. We will upload that into Design Space here in just a minute. I just wanted to make sure that we were able to get that unzipped. So after we have done that, we're going to go back to the Maker's Gonna Learn website. I'm going to go over to my fonts section, and the font that we're going to be using today is called Spunky. I mean, honestly, it's a very fitting name for this spunky little font and this cute little hedgehog. So to download this font, you need to click this arrow pointing down. Once again, that is just kind of our universal sign for download. Now for fonts, you do have to double click this and open it up. If you are on a PC instead of a MacBook, you may have to right click and extract that font. Either way, we're going to download this onto our computer. You can see I already have this font installed, so it's not giving me the option to install. If it was not installed, you would click this button here, install it across all platforms on your computer, and then reload Design Space. So we're just going to go back over here to Design Space. If for some reason you want to learn how to, once you've downloaded a font, you still can't find it, what you need to do is come up here to View, and you need to reload Design Space. Now, if you are working on a project, you need to click Save before you do that. So we'll save here. And then what you can do is click View and Reload, and then Design Space is going to reload, and now it's going to recognize all of those new fonts on your computer. For some reason, it's telling me that Spunky will default to Arial. We have Spunky, and I can show you that we have Spunky by clicking on the text box, coming up here to our system fonts, and typing in Spunky. Now, this one will probably say MGL Spunky, but it's the same one, and that is the font that we're going to be using. Now, the next thing we need to do, since we know that we have our font here in Design Space, is we need to upload our hedgehog. So we're going to come over here to the left-hand side where it says Upload. We're going to click on Upload, Upload Image. I'm going to bring my Finder into view, and then because this was the last thing that I opened in my Finder, it's already pulled up exactly where I want it. And I'm going to take this PNG version and I'm going to drag and drop that there. We're going to go to continue, apply and continue, and we want this as a flat graphic. So I'm going to select flat graphic and continue and upload. And you can see it will upload directly onto your canvas. I think this is just so cute and so fun for a little kid. So we're just going to size this down to the size that we want our ornament to be, or whatever you plan on making. We'll do about right here. I'm going to pull my text. Whoops. We're going to undo that. We're going to pull my text over to the side. And now we have the image that we are going to be transferring onto our real vegetable tan leather and faux leather. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to hide these so that we can kind of watch this from start to finish. So once you have sized your image properly, what we're going to do now to create the piece that we're going to iron this onto is we're going to click offset and we are going to add an offset. Now, you can add a fairly large offset or you can make it a little bit smaller. I do feel like 0.25 may be just a little much. Or let's try it again. Maybe it's not. Maybe it'll give us a little bit of wiggle room. Maybe we'll leave it at 0.25 and we'll hit apply. I think that's actually pretty good. I'm going to change the color to this tan leather, or to this tan color, so that it kind of represents the leather that we're putting it on. And then now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my text to the front and I'm just going to add a name. So let's just put Emerson here. We're going to size it down. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this if you want to have a separation between the word and your image. I can show you exactly how to do that. So first thing I want to do, I think I want to curve this. Let's curve it up just a little bit and let's bring our letter spacing in. And let's see if we can curve it up just a little bit more until we're happy with it. I think I like this. I think this is cute. And actually, after I've thought about this, I'm going to delete this offset and I'm going to move Emerson down just a little bit more here where it's kind of like more on the legs. And I'm going to select both of these and come back up here to offset. And I'm going to, so I know that they're both selected here, and I'm going to create an offset with both of them selected so that I have plenty of room to add the name. Still think I'm going to work with that 0.25, and we're just going to hit apply. I'm going to change this color back. And now you can see that I have my name there on the bottom. Part of me wants to change the color and create the separation. Part of me kind of likes it like that. If you want to create the separation from the image and the name, here is how you're going to do that. You're going to select only the name. You are going to create an offset, maybe like a 0.15 offset, or let's say 0.1. I think a 0.1 will be good. We're going to apply that, and then we're going to select that offset and the Christmas hedgehog, and we're going to slice that out, and we're just going to get rid of all of these slice results, and that completely cut its legs off. So let's not do that. Let's go back, and maybe we'll just leave it as is. I don't want to cut its legs off, but I think if leaving it that black color really allows us to see both the name and the legs. Let's try it one more time though. Let me go over here to offset. Let's maybe even do a 0.05. Okay, I can work with a 0.05. I still think you can see part of the leg. Maybe we'll go a 0.03. We'll try 0.03. Let's just try it. Hear me out. Offset, Christmas hedgehog, slice. Get rid of all of the slice results. Now that is cute. The legs are not cut off. There is some separation. Here's where I want to live. Now, the last thing that I need to do is I need to flatten these both together. So I'm going to select this slice result and select the text. And then I'm going to come down here to the bottom and I'm going to hit flatten. And that's just going to flatten those two together. So now it is all one piece. I know that it's one piece is because I can select it and I can move it and it stays the same both places. So we now have our base for our leather to be cut out, and we now have our image that we are going to transfer onto the leather. Now, because we are doing both regular leather, and we do need to change both of these operations to basic cut because we are cutting them. They are not print and cut. I'm going to duplicate them, and I'm going to actually put them on two separate mats, and I'll show you how to do that because it is two completely different cut settings, but we're going to cut them both before we move forward and iron on our transfer. So now that we are ready, let's go ahead and duplicate this guy too. So we have two of him. We're going to go to make it. I'm changing this to 8.5 by 11. They will both fit on there beautifully. And then here I'm going to hit those three dots. I'm going to move object and I'm going to move this to a new mat. So we'll change the color of this one to red so that we know the red one will be our faux leather and the gray one will be our vegetable tan leather. So we are going to go ahead and start cutting our leather. Okay, so I'm adding my leather to my Strong Grip mat. I am going to burnish it down really well. But like I said, I'm also going to tape it just because I don't trust it. So I'm going to grab some painter's tape here. I'm going to tape down the edges, making sure it's on there really, really well. Also, I'm probably going to move my actual ornament to the center so I don't cut on this tape. And I want to make sure it's on there. Another thing when working with actual leather and your Cricut, you're going to have to move your star wheels. Otherwise, these are going to leave marks on your leather or it's not even going to let your leather come through. So I'm going to go ahead and move my star wheels to either side here, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and get my knife blade out to have it ready to load into my design, or load into my machine. So now I'm going to go to continue. I am using a Maker 3 today, and I am connected via USB, my favorite way. I know that it's easy to do it with Bluetooth, but I like using a USB. I'm going to go to Browse All Material, and I'm just going to search up leather. So we're going to be doing this with genuine, actually, we're going to be doing this with tooling leather. So there is going to be a difference between genuine leather and tooling leather, and that's going to be the weight. The one that we're using is a 4 to 5 ounce tooling leather. So we're going to select it. We're going to go to done. This is saying that I need a deep point blade. I am personally going to use a knife blade. I can do it with a deep point blade. Let's just go ahead. Let's do it with a deep point blade because that's what Cricut is recommending. We're going to see. We'll just go ahead. We'll load this into clamp B. I told you that I thought you needed a knife blade. Cricut is recommending me do a deep point blade. This is a testing video, so we're testing. So anyway, after we've done that, we are going to go place this in. We're going to load this. Do you see how tight this is and why we needed to move our star wheels? So let me bring you in. Do you all see that? That's why we needed to move our star wheels. Okay? So, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to cut with the deep point blade? I don't know. We're going to find out. Y'all, I may be just proven wrong. And I said I was going to move this because of this. And I didn't. And now it's giving me the red button of death. Okay. It says to restart your machine. I'm going to click OK. Power cycle your machine and unplug it. Turn it off. We're unplugging from the back. I'm telling you right now, it's the end of the day. I should have already been gone, but here we are, and that's okay. It is telling us to cycle our machine and unplug it. I'm unplugging it. I've done this. You can see that it is stuck. I don't know if it's because we use the deep point blade. I'm going to add this back in. Let's try powering it back on. It just barely, it almost made it all the way across. I don't know. Let's see if it even cut all the way through. Yeah, I didn't think that it would. So let me set you down. Here's the deal, guys. There for a minute, I thought it was going to cut with the deep point blade. You can see it didn't even go through. Now, was it supposed to do a second pass? I'm not 100% sure. Thank goodness Holly got us another piece of leather. I mean, we can still use this. Let's just go ahead and still utilize this. Let's not waste it. Another thing that I did want to show you guys. Do you all see this right here? I don't know if you can see it. There is very much, maybe if I turn you around. There, you can see it right here. This is why we move our star wheels. That is why we move our star wheels, because if your star wheels are in the way, this is what's going to happen. Okay? Okay. Another thing you want to be aware of is if you do tape it, if you want to use like these edges, you can see that the tape does kind of tear it away a little bit. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but you can be the judge of that. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to reposition this on the mat. We will reposition it with this at the top. Okay, we are repositioning this. Maybe let's not tape up here, and we'll just tape a little bit like down this side right here. And maybe even cut this tape down. I think this tape might be a little bit thick. I don't want it to completely ruin the leather, so we're going to tape down that side. Tape it right here, and we'll tape it along this edge here. So let me move this star wheel all the way to this side. Like that. And then we are going to cycle our machine because it was giving us that error. It is still connected. We'll go back to browse all material. And actually, let's go to material settings before we do, because I want to see, I'm gonna go down to tooling leather, and I want to see what it is cutting it at. So it's, okay, so currently it is at a 345 pressure, but 7 passes with the deep point blade. That's insane. And then the tooling leather 6 to 7 ounces is 450 with a knife blade at 16 passes. So I do think we'll try it one more time with the deep point blade, because if you have a deep point blade, I want to make sure that you have capabilities. If you want to cut tooling leather, obviously we're going to try everything we can. So let's just go ahead. We'll do the deep point blade one more time, and we're gonna do tooling leather, 4.5 ounces, 4 to 5, not 4.5, 4 to 5 ounces. We're gonna go with done. Once again, I'm going to test this one more time for you guys. If not, we're going to the knife blade because I know that the knife blade will work. And we're gonna see how well this does. If this gives us the red button of death one more time, we're done and we are going with the knife blade. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. We're gonna hit that play button. Fingers crossed. It might have had something to do with the tape being up here as well because it did go through the tape. Who knows? We're gonna find out though. Okay, once again, we were having no issues with this before. Okay, pass number 1. We said it was 7 passes. I feel like I'm not hearing any resistance, so I feel like it has cut through at 5, but like I'm also not going to, I'm not gonna test it. We will leave it at what it recommends. Can't remember if it was 6 or 7. Must be 7. Okay. Let's go ahead and check it before we move it. Did it cut? Did it not? What's your predictions? Aha! Did y'all see that? Look at there. So we're gonna unload it. And honestly, y'all, it cut pretty beautifully with that knife or with that deep point blade. So you've seen it. It works with the deep point blade. You don't have to have the knife blade. Now, if you have an Explorer Series machine, you may still not have the pressure needed to cut this, but if you have an Explorer Series machine and you want to cut tooling leather, just make sure that the tooling leather you get is a smaller ounce, meaning you need to get a 2 to 3 ounce tooling leather, a thinner. You all can see that this one is pretty thick. So a 2 to 3 ounce tooling leather would, I think, be beautiful in the Explorer Series machine and not have a problem being cut with a deep point blade. So we have this one cut. Let's go ahead, unload this tooling leather off the mat. I will say this, leather does leave your mat pretty dirty, but that's okay. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut the other one out before we send it to the printer. So this one I'm cutting out on faux leather. This one will use a regular fine point blade. So what I'm doing now, I'm just going to my other mat here. We're gonna select that. We're gonna browse all material, and we're doing this with faux leather. We'll do the paper thin. Once again, fine point blade. So back over here at the machine, we are going to take out this deep point blade here. I'm gonna grab my fine point blade that I just had in there. We're going to load this into clamp B. Make sure I burnish this down really well. Still leaving these star wheels all over to the side. Still don't want there to be any anything on my faux leather. Loading this in. And then pressing this flashing play button. Also, I'm really super excited about this and how well it cut. I don't know, I just keep looking at it. I love it. Okay, so we got 2 passes on this faux leather again, or on this, so we got 2 passes on the faux leather. It's kind of like the first time you can hear it cut through the fibers on the back of the faux leather, and the second time you don't hear it. I just feel like that means that I got a really good cut. But, as always, we are gonna check it before we unload. And it was phenomenal. Oh, there's one little snag. Not a problem though. It was just that, you see how it's got like a fabric weave pattern on the back? It was just these little fibers kind of got stuck, and you can pull that out. So we now have both our regular tooling leather and our faux leather to test our transfer out on. So now it's time for us to go ahead and print our transfers. Now, reading our instructions, it says to print your design onto the transfer paper using an inkjet printer. Ensure the transfer paper is loaded in your printer properly. Do not print on the red line side of the paper. So this is the side that you don't need to print on. This is where you're gonna have to learn a little bit, you're gonna have to know a little bit about your printer. If you do not have rear feed, which we're gonna use rear feed, and I'm gonna show you how I put it in there. If you use your bottom feed tray, if your printer prints and pulls it in this way and turns it around, you need to load it with this facing up. So learning your printer is very, very important. Learning how it pulls your paper through is something that you must know. So if you don't know that, I highly suggest you figure that out. One way that I do that, get a regular piece of paper, put an X on the top left, right corner. Remember what corner you put it on, just print something through and then figure out where it ends up. That's gonna tell you if it pulls it through and turns it this way or if it pulls it through however which way. Printers are all different. So we're going to go to Send to Printer. We're going to go to Next. We are doing this on our Canon TS9500 series. We do not need bleed with this because we are not cutting out everything around it. We want to turn bleed off and always use system dialog. From there, we're gonna click print. It's gonna pull up down behind here. You can see here that it says this is offline. Let's just go to the Canon TS9500 series here that is online. I am feeding from rear tray and I want to turn my quality to best. Now, let's go load our paper in here. One thing I do need to tell you though, this is not a piece that you're going to be printing on. This is actually going to be what they call your cover sheet to cover everything, to iron it on. So we're going to take one of these. You're going to come with me and we're going to load this into our printer. So I'm going to load this in this way forward, just like that. And then back over here, I'm going to click print. Now, let's see what it does. Now, while this is printing, I will say this. We printed this with our Cricut, so we could have the Cricut cut this material. I think I'm just going to cut it with my scissors just because I'm curious to see how it transfers over. Like, do you have to cut it out the exact shape? Can you cut it out with your scissors? This is part of the whole testing process. So I think I'm actually gonna cut this out with my scissors and then transfer it over to the leather. Now, it didn't tell me that I needed to mirror it or anything. Obviously, there is a transfer piece, like this back part is the transfer piece, and it just says to remove the front from that. So we're gonna try it out and see how it does. Still very curious and not really sure. I'm sure it will be fine, but. Now, the directions then say, cut your design from the transfer paper according to your leather project. So it's showing me that it may need to be exact. I don't know, guys. Maybe I should lay it down and cut it out exactly as it says, or maybe I should have had my Cricut cut it out. Once again, this is a testing video. We're gonna try it. I guess I'm just gonna trace it. I mean, at this point, I don't even think I put an offset on the design, so I think that it would cut out every single light bulb. So I think I'm just gonna have to trace it and go from there. Maybe I should have read the directions a little more, I don't know. I'm just gonna take this, trace it based on the design. Interesting. Okay, this is very, very interesting. I was trying to cut this out. I was trying to make marks. Do you all see this right here? I was trying to make pencil marks to cut it out, but it's like it scratched it away. Man, now I don't know. I'm just gonna cut all the way around it. So here's where I'm at. Now it says to remove the backing. Let's see. Where's my directions at? It says, gently separate the transfer paper from its backing. Okie doke, I can do that. Okay, so you can see where I did scratch that. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, now we're gonna lay it down on here. Line it up. Okay, here we're at. Let's come down here. Come a little closer. Come a little closer, baby. Okay. I might be delusional today, y'all. Who knows? Okay, we got to lay down pretty well. I'm doing this with my mini easy press on a heat setting of 2. It says to iron on the wool silk setting if you have a regular iron. It says if using a heat press, set it to 260 degrees Fahrenheit. So what it is telling us is move your iron in small circular motions over the cover sheet, because it's telling you to use this cover sheet. It feels like wax paper. Over the cover sheet to infuse your design into the leather. This should take about 13 to 15 seconds. Do not use steam and allow your project to cool. So 2, and we're gonna go for it. Okay, I am seeing a change. Interesting. Are you all seeing that? Does it need to melt into that? Does it need to be completely... Oh, I think that's the trick. I think the white ends up kind of like melting into the leather so you don't even see that white portion. And I think the trick... Oh, yeah. Okay. Here it is. And then... Do we take... Oh. Okay. Okay, so this can then be cut off, I guess. Maybe that's why it says to cut it exactly according to your project, because like it doesn't tear away. I don't know. We're gonna cut it with I'm gonna do it facing upside down and kind of just cut this away. We could even maybe try cutting it this way. I think I like cutting it upside down like this a lot better. I think it allows me to get those pieces. So maybe it is a good idea to cut the exact design with your Cricut if you wanted to. Obviously you don't have to. But one thing I will say, it does not give me directions on, if you are using it with a cutting machine, what setting to cut it on. And this material is so thin, I don't know if I would cut it on washi tape. We'll actually print another one. I'll go back and I'll fix it and I'll print another one. And I will tell you which one which setting I feel like you should use to cut the exact one. But here it is. Let me bring you up a little bit more so you can see. I'm not mad at it. I will say this middle portion right here, I don't know if I just put too much heat on it. It does look a little bit kind of splotchy, but it's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't think it would be that. I didn't realize it could be that easy to make something feel like it's printed straight on this leather and so colorful. I will say this, it is a lot more vibrant than what I expected. I'm very impressed with the vibrancy of this, and I do think that it is great. So now, let's do the same process. I will say this though, be very careful. Do you see this mark right here? This was like accidentally nicked by something. I think my True Control knife nicked it. So be careful about that, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off, and we're gonna test this on faux leather. So pretty much what this is doing is this is melting into the leather. This material is like melting into the leather. I'm understanding how it works now. So once again, we're gonna separate this off, separate this from the backing like this. Now this one I did cut smaller. I did cut this one smaller, so there is no overhang really. We'll see how it does. Okay, we're gonna cover it. 2. You can see how it changes colors, circular motions. Should I have let it cool down first? Okay, guys. This might be why we do it on regular leather. Let me let this cool down and see if this other side releases a little bit better than this one, because I don't know. We shall see. Okay. It does it on faux leather as well. I definitely should have let it cool before I peeled it. This portion up here, I did let it cool. It peeled beautifully. This down here, I was in way too big of a hurry. Didn't let it cool. So let's go ahead, print another one really quickly, and then we are going to test and see what material setting we need to use to cut this on our Cricut. And then we'll test it on faux leather one more time and see how that does. So pause, let me get all of this set back up, then we'll test it one more time on faux leather, and we will go through the process of cutting it on our Cricut as well. Okay, so I recut my faux leather piece. I have reprinted our design. So if you are doing this and you want to cut this on your Cricut, one thing you need to do is the actual piece that you are cutting your leather from, you need to duplicate that, turn the color to white, and then flatten it with your design if your design does not already have an outline, if you are wanting to try to cut with your Cricut. Now, this is, once again, we're testing these settings to see if this is going to work. My prediction with this, I don't think it is everyday iron-on, but I don't think it's washi tape either. So let's just go to our cut settings and see what pressure both of those are on and find a middle ground. Okay, so we're gonna go to browse all material. We're gonna go to material settings. So the first thing is everyday iron-on cuts with a fine point blade at a pressure of 120. So our washi tape, washi sheet, washi tape, so 70 to 85. So in between there, another similar material would be printable vinyl. Transparent is 115. Printable sticker paper, printable iron-on sublimation is 100. Printable iron-on light, printable iron-on dark. And I said washi tape was 85. Maybe let's just go everyday iron-on and see what it does. We're just gonna go for it. Everyday iron-on, see what it does. Loading it into our machine. Come over here so we can look. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Okay, play. Fingers crossed. I know that it's gonna cut through the material. It's not, is it gonna cut through the material? My question is it going to cut too deep? Which, if it does cut all the way through, it's not like it's too deep. We're just taking the backing off of it. So I think everyday iron-on, my hypothesis is that everyday iron-on will be fine. It's just going to cut through this and the backing both. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, while that cuts, just a little observation I made. I was just now, this stuff feels like printable iron-on material. Because watch, I can rub my finger over this cover sheet and this stuff peels right up off of this cover sheet. I mean, there's nothing on there now. Okay. It did cut through, not a problem. So we're just gonna go ahead and unload it. And we are going to see if it cut all the way through. And it didn't. It kind of did cut through the backer a little bit, but it's still attached, I will say that. Okay, so it did cut through the backer. So everyday iron-on will work great. So let's come back over here. Let's move this out of our way. So if you do want to cut this on your Cricut and you don't want to use your scissors, you can do so. You're just gonna use the everyday iron-on cut setting. We're bringing our faux leather in. We're peeling this away. Lining it up with the actual shape of our ornament. Look how perfect that lined up. Are y'all seeing this? Look at this. Look how perfect that is. Okay. Taking our cover sheet, covering that. Moving everything out of the way because I'm a mess. Did that move? It did just a little bit. It's okay. Remember, this is on faux leather. We're testing faux leather. We know that it works on genuine leather. We're testing it on faux leather. Circles, not a lot of time if you don't need to. We're gonna keep on moving. You can tell the white starts getting clear. That's what you're going for. And now we're letting it cool before we peel it up. Okay, so this is actually pretty hot. That's also. Normally I would be working on a marble or like stone surface. So I'm just kind of trying to rub this on the table, cool it down a little bit. We might even fan it a little bit. Okay, it feels pretty cool. It still is making me a little bit nervous. All right, y'all are seeing it here. It does work on faux leather as well. And it's actually really super cute. Oh my goodness. Now, if you were to make this into an ornament, what I would do, come up here so we can see you. Making this into an ornament is gonna be super easy. Whether you use this, your regular tooling leather or faux leather, you can create a hole and have Cricut cut a hole for you. I didn't know how this was gonna actually turn out, so I didn't go through that process. But I do have a leather punch here. So what I would do to make this into an ornament is I would take my leather punch, find where I want to put my ribbon, pop that bad boy in there. And actually, there's a piece of leather stuck up in there, so let me see if I can get that out. That's gonna help a whole lot. We'll line this back up like this. Move it around. There we have a beautiful hole from this leather punch. And then once you have that, you can add some fun Christmas ribbon to make a super cute little leather ornament. Oh my goodness, guys, what did you think about this? How do you think this turned out? Were you as impressed as I am? Honestly, I feel like I am just as impressed with the faux leather as I am with the regular tooling leather. I was very impressed with the machine cutting the tooling leather with a deep point blade versus a knife blade, where I thought that I would have to have a knife blade. But if you have 4 to 5 ounce tooling leather or smaller, you can use your deep point blade. Now, it may be a little bit different on an Explorer Series machine. I just used the Maker Series machine, and I know that between the machines, there is a difference in pressure and how much pressure that machine can have. So if you do have an Explorer Series machine, go with this faux leather. Or if you really want the tooling leather, get a thinner tooling leather, like a 2 to 3 ounce tooling leather, either one. But y'all, I will say this stuff obviously works. It is great. One downfall that I would see, especially if you are doing print and cut, you all know that with print and cut, you kind of are limited to the parameters that you can print. One thing I will say, there are only 3 sheets of this per pack. So right now, I only have 1 more full sheet left. Do with that information what you will. If you think it's worth it for you, I would definitely grab some. I think it is a great material and a great alternative to making it look like you can print on leather. I mean, and you can do it with your Cricut at home with your Cricut and inkjet printer. So, once again, if you didn't know or you didn't hear, we have a huge announcement coming this Wednesday, October 1st at our live, which is going to be at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when we go live. We have an amazing project and a huge announcement that you're not going to definitely want to miss. And if you've liked this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified every time we get crafty, especially for the month of October. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn on that bell notification, because y'all, we're bringing you so many good Christmas crafts, DIYs, home decor projects, gifts for you to give this Christmas, and so much more for the whole month of October. So make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.